Benediction by Charles Baudelaire. When, on a certain day into this harassed world, the poet, by decree of the high powers, was born, his mother, overwhelmed by shame and fury, hurled these blasphemies at God, clenching her fists in scorn. Would I had whelped a knot of vipers, at the worst 'twere better than his runt that whines and snivels there. O cursed be that night of pleasure, thrice accursed my womb that has conceived and nourished my despair. Since, of all mortal women, it would seem my fate to be my saddened husband's horror and disgust, and since I may not toss this monster in the grate like any crumpled letter seeking, reeking of lust, upon his helpless form, whereby thou humblest me, I shall divert thy hatred in one raging flood, and I shall twist so well this miserable tree, that I shall not put forth one pestilential bud. Thus did she foam with anger, railing, swallowing froth, and unaware of what the mighty powers had willed, she set about to draw Gehenna on them both, eyeing the fire, considering how he might be killed. Meanwhile, above the child, an unseen angel beats his wings, and the poor waif runs laughing in the sun. And everything he drinks and everything he eats are nectar and ambrosia to this hapless one. Companioned by the wind, conversing with the cloud, along the highway to the cross his song is heard, and the bright spirit, following him, weeps aloud to see him hop so gaily like a little bird. Those whom he longs to love observe him with constraint and fear, and he grows up, or, seeing how calm he is, grow bold, and seek to draw from him some sharp complaint, wreaking on him all day their dull ferocities. Cinders are in his bread, are gritty in his teeth, spittle in his wine. Where his footprints are seen, they hesitate to set their shoes, mincing beneath hypocrisy. All things he touched they call unclean. His wife in public places cries, "Since after all he loves me so that he's the laughingstock of men, I'll make a business of it, be an idol, call for gold, to take myself regilded now and then. And some day, when I'm drunk with frankincense, rich food, flattery, genuflections, spikenard, bread, wine, I'll get from him, while laughing in his face I could, that homage he has kept so far for things divine. And when my pleasure in these impious farces fails, my dainty terrible hands shall tear his breast apart, and these long nails of mine, so like the harpy's nails, shall dig till they have dug a tunnel to his heart. Then, like a young bird caught and fluttering to be freed, 'twill make a tasty morsel for my favorite hound. I'll wrench his heart out, warm and bleeding, let it bleed, and drop it with contempt and loathing to the ground. Meanwhile, toward heaven, the goal of his mature desire, the poet, oblivious, lifts up his arms in prayer. His lucid essence flames with lightnings, veiled by fire is all the furious world, all the lewd conflict there. Be praised, Almighty God, that givest to faulty me this suffering, to purge my spirit of its sin, to fortify my puny strength, to bid me see pure faith, and what voluptuousness blisses dwell therein. I know that in those ranks of happy blessed the poet shall have some place among thy seraphim, and that thou wilt at length to the eternal feast of virtues, thrones, and dominations summon him. I know pain is the only nobility we have which not the hungry ground nor hell shall ever gnaw. I know that space and time, beyond the temporal grave, weave me a mystic crown free from all earthly flaw. Not emeralds, not all the pearls of the deep sea, all the rare metals, every lost and buried gem, antique Palmyra hides, could ever seem to me so beautiful as that clear, glittering diadem. Of light alone, it will be fashioned, light drawn from the holy fount, rays primitive and pure, whereof the eyes of mortal men, so starry bright, are but the mirrors cloudy and obscure.